Hi there crafters, Louise with you today. Thanks for stopping in and checking out my final share for the month of June. I realised that I had done a lot of single photo layouts this month, and so I needed to inspire you to create some it's been a long day. I needed to inspire you with some multi-photo page inspiration. So I'm also challenging myself to use this pink background because it is often something that I would stray away from, and I'm also creating Master Zaleb's photos. So it's a boy layout on a pink background, multi-photo grid style. And so you can see I'm starting with these 3x4 cut apart pieces, and essentially the idea is to use them as mounts. So you can see that I've chosen 4 photos, and these are again from our outback trip. So they are little snippets of his time in the outback and some of his adventures that he went on, and so that's going to make up the main component of this particular layout. So I loved the little go see do, and I really enjoyed the wander often sort of piece and wanted to go with quite a grid style. I'm going to tear this background just to take a little bit of that pink out of there. It's not so much that I'm against pink, don't get me wrong. I actually quite like pink as a person, but I find it really hard to scrap with. And so for me to be able to use the background, I need to incorporate it with a lot of extra mixed colors. And in this case, I'm going to go with a lot of those greens from this particular collection. Now you can see that I'm just ruffling and distressing the edges around the area of the photo. I really just love distressing at the moment. It comes and goes in my scrapping, and right now it's a big part of how I create texture. I really enjoy how it looks on the page, and so that's why you've probably noticed I've been doing a little bit of extra distressing lately. Now this one, this particular layout came together really quickly. Some of them have been a bit of a struggle lately, but I feel like maybe some of the mojo is coming back a little bit, and I thought this one was probably, and I mean, I know I say it all the time, but it's one of my favorites. So really, when we design pages using kits, it's about trying to inspire you to get creative, and even if you just take up one little piece of inspiration, in this case it could be that you want to do some distressing, could be that you want to create like a grid style for yourself using some of those 3x4 cut aparts. It really is just about I create in the style that I enjoy, and I like the way my pages to look, and hopefully it inspires you to get creative and use your kit. We all like having a stash, but at the end of the day we love to create layouts too. So all right, at this stage I'm basically just embellishing around and using some of the elements from the kit. I honestly felt like this kit was so chock-a-block full of stuff. I sat down and I made a few extra layouts after I had finished my design team commitments, but it was quite a shock to see how much was left over, and I'm going to do a few more from our outback trip as well, and really get some of that recorded so that we can see it before we go on our next little trip. And if you're listening to this video, here's a little sneaky peeky for you. We are actually going to Canada later in the year to do a white Christmas in December with the kids. So that's something quite fun and we're really excited about. So at the start of 2026, I'll have some really fantastic snow and travel themed photos to use as well. So that'll be pretty cool. Now, journaling is something that I always encourage, and whether you do it your way or follow somebody else's way, it really doesn't matter. Please, if you can, just even write the date or time and who was in the photos. Somebody down the track may look at these pages and could be 2 or 3 generations away and not know who was in them or why you scrapped them, why they were important to you. So definitely try and put some kind of journaling. And today my journaling inspiration is on one of these tags. And so instead of completely gluing down one of these 3x4 cut aparts, I just glued around the edges and tucked my journaling into the tag which sits behind it. All right, I'm pretty happy with how this is coming together. We're going to add a little bit of glue, stick a few things down so that we know where the final stages of this layout are heading. And it was really, you know, I think this is great. I love the grid. I love the white space around it. I love the pink on green and the mixture of photos. I just wanted to doodle a little border around the outside just to sort of finish things off. And then the main extra thing that I'm going to add is actually just some black splatters. So I haven't actually used splatters for a little while, and I may be a little bit out of practice. They didn't come out quite as well as I would have liked, but you get the idea, and it still is really just a little bit of extra sort of messiness into that background. All right, I am happy with how this is looking. I think it's come together really well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that it is something that you have enjoyed, and maybe you want to have a play with something like this. I always aim to inspire, and if you have suggestions, definitely leave a comment because I do always read them. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.